Leviticus chapter 6. So just to recap the last couple of chapters, starting off Leviticus chapter 1, we were learning about the burnt offering. All right, chapter 1 was dealing with the burnt offering, how you're going to do it, right? All the details behind it. Chapter 2 was dealing with the meat offering, but probably better translated should have been, grain offering. All right. So chapter 2 was dealing with the details of the grain offering. And then chapter 3 was dealing with the peace offering. Okay, dealing with the peace offering. Chapter 4 is dealing with if a soul shall sin through ignorance against any of the commandments, right? You violate the commandments, sought to be done. Then it tells you how you're supposed to go about that. When the priests sinned and messed up, they had to do, and also for the people. Okay, so that was chapter 4. Chapter 5, if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing and is a witness, whether he has seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Okay, so this was good dealing with last week, because now what the Most High is showing you have an obligation, right? Some people, I don't want to get involved. I heard this, but I'm going to stay here. No, right? You are now involved. Okay, you are now involved. This is why you don't need to be around people that's busybodies and messy and all that stuff, because now you become part of that. Okay, now you have an obligation to clear yourself from it. Okay, so if you hear a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, right, you're a witness to it. All right, if you do not utter it, you going to bear the iniquity. I mean, the iniquity is going to be put on you as well. Okay, so you don't want to be in trouble off of somebody else's foolishness, beloved. Okay. And once again, it told you how you will deal with that as well as with other things. Sure, something else. If you accidentally touch something that's unclean or defiled, right? What you got to do when you're dealing with that, and I think dealing with the trespass offering was in that, right? You trespass something. Okay. And this one kind of gave details also about, we see now that the Most High was showing almost like I want to put class like what's the class in dealing with financially? Okay. It skips me. But basically, if you didn't have enough to afford this kind of sacrifice, you would go there. Like if you didn't have the I think it was like a lamb or whatever, then you can, substitute it for a turtle dove. You couldn't afford the turtle dove and everything, then you could substitute that for I don't know if it was on bread or something small, right? So there's a plan. So if you didn't have much money or something like that, you didn't have certain things, it's like, oh well, I can't be forgiven because I can't afford the lamb. Okay, so we see the Most High was thinking about everybody bringing this out. Okay, because everybody, no matter how rich or poor, you can pay a price for what? For that forgiveness, all right, or for that atonement. Okay. All right. Let's go to chapter 6. All right. That will lead us to chapter 6. All right. If y'all have anything, you can bring it out. I don't think I'm really precepting anything with it. So if you got something, you may share. All right. Leviticus chapter 6. Let's start from verse 1.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, if a soul sin and commit a trespass against Yahweh, and lie unto his neighbor in that which was delivered him to keep, or in fellowship, or in a thing taken away by violence, or have deceived his neighbor.
Give me one more.
Or have found that which was lost, and lieth concerning it, and sweareth falsely, and any of all these that a man doeth, sinning therein.
All right. So, beloved, anybody got anything on those first 3 verses? Anything stand out on those 3 verses? All right. Sister Tina, what you got?
Um, just it just stood out to me when it said um if the soul sin and commit a trespass against Yahweh first, um, and lie unto his neighbor. So, to do it unto your neighbor is doing it unto the most high. That just stood out to me.
Mhm.
That was it.
Beautiful point you grabbed. Because a lot of us try to separate and say, well, no, I just did this brother wrong. I just did this sister wrong. That ain't good. That's a good point. Nope, he's under God. Oh, Brother Kyle, what you got?
Yeah, in verse 3, something stood out to me is and swear falsely in any of all these things that man doeth, sinning therein. It says that man doeth, and we understand that the Most High, he's not capable of doing any of these things, only man. So that stood out to me.
Yeah, that's a great point. All right. Um, and also you got to consider lying, right? Oh, God made me do this, right? God made me do this. First of all, you always want to be, well, you don't even want to have that kind of, don't do that. Don't swear. First of all, don't even swear on God. I already told you about that.
Mhm.
But that's also a different level. Don't put certain things out there, beloved. Okay. One of the most famous ones, used to hear it all the time at church. All right. And I'm sure we all hear it is, the Spirit told me or the Spirit let me do this, right? Everybody's talking about the Spirit leading them to do certain things. You better be sure the Spirit is leading you to do it.
It comes.
Because if not, you don't have a problem with the person you said that to. You got a problem with the person upstairs. You have trespassed against him, right? You don't, I'm telling you right now, the Spirit can lead you to do something. You don't always have to throw it out there. It's just almost like, oh, I swear to God, I swear on my dead mother. You don't have to do that. If you are living a life, right, your steps will be what? Guided by the Lord. If your steps are guided by the Lord, what is that, beloved? Spirit leading you, right? But a lot of times, and I'm not following people. Some people can definitely, when they say the Spirit lead them, Spirit can be leading them. Don't get it wrong. I'm not saying that's a wrong phrase, but a lot of people throw it out there loosely, and not understanding the weight that that has. Okay, we talk about when you come to the house of the Lord, be more ready to what? Hear, than to offer what? Sacrifices of fools, because fools just say certain things, and they don't what? What make them fools? They don't understand the weight of what they're saying. Okay, so you want to cash that check, right? That your behind can't cash. All right, write that check. I'm sorry, write that check. Okay, so we want to understand and think of these things because you have an ought with the what? Father at this point. Just say you, if a soul sin and commit trespass against the Lord, it ain't about me. Oh, well, I lied to brother. I lied to sister. So no, 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 no. You did that trespass against the Lord. This is why when you understand the depthness of this stuff, you understand that relation really in it, you can understand certain things. Let me show you this quote. What's the one with David? That sounds like 50, 51, somewhere around there. Nope, that. Yeah. I used to wrestle. I should stop saying I had a problem with it. I used to have a wrestle with certain things, but when I didn't understand, it wasn't none of the Bible. It was my understanding with certain things. Let me see. Where's that point against D and D only?
It's in this chapter, I
It
believe.
is okay.
Yep. Might be down further.
At the end is something else. It should have been at the top. Oh, verse 4. I'm not about to say I know it's in the beginning when he's praying. All right, start from verse 1, right? This is when with David and then Nathan coming to him and telling him about this, the thing with Bathsheba. Very famous passage. So 50, this Psalm 51 and verse 1. Psalm 51 and verse 1.
Have mercy upon me, O God, according to thy loving kindness, according unto the multitude of thy tender mercies, blot out my transgressions.
All right. So he's saying, I transgressed. Blot them out. Okay. Let's keep reading.
Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity and cleanse me from my sin.
So when we're done with sin, who are you transgressing? Who are you in violation of? Most High. Okay. Dealing with his laws. Now, don't get it wrong, beloved. You do something, you can cause offense to your, brother or sister. Sometimes that still can be sin as well. All right. So I don't want to put it as, well, I sinned against God, so I don't got to worry about apologizing. No, because the law will tell you still got to rectify that. Okay. But he's going deep in understanding this thing. Listen, wash me, blot out my transgression. Why? Because there's a transgression on there's iniquity on me at this moment. Right? Because when we looking at this, we look at the sacrifice. Remember, it was saying you do this and it'll what? Atone and I'll forgive you. Right? So that means when you was in violation, you was in need of forgiveness because you have what? A blot on you. You have a blemish on you. The sacrifices thing was a set up system to take that blemish away. That was mercy. When people say God didn't have mercy in the Old Testament, you don't know what you're talking about. Christ didn't start mercy. What do you think these sacrifices were? Atoning. If atonement ain't mercy, I don't know what is, beloved. Okay? So, multitude of thy tender mercies, blot out my transgressions. I love that he made it plural. Right? Wash me thoroughly with thy iniquity and cleanse me from my sin. All right? You ain't throw nobody under the bus or anything like that. So when you truly repentant, you're gonna take all them out. I'm taking ownership of what I did, Lord. What the other parties do, that's on it. But I want to take ownership of what I did. I want to repent for the deeds I did with my body. Okay? Keep reading verse 3.
For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me.
And that's a hard part right there. Some people don't want to even acknowledge the transgression. This is why he can't cleanse you. This is why, right, when you deal with the sacrifice, what part can link with that? Acknowledge the transgression, right? Why? How do somebody with the law, how do we acknowledge the transgression? You're bringing the animal. You're acknowledging that what? I did something wrong. That's why I'm doing this sacrifice here. Okay? So you must acknowledge your transgressions, right? And says, my sin is ever before me. Yeah, it ain't going to just go nowhere. Well, I did that 3 months ago. I'm sure it's over. No. You have to acknowledge it to get that thing removed. Verse 4.
Against thee only have I sinned, and done this evil in thy sight, that thou mayest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest.
So this is what he's saying. Against thee and thee only have I sinned. All right. I violated your laws. Okay. He's the king. You a king, and you these wicked nations, you can make up your own rules and everything. You can make laws, all tainted and polluted, which they do. That's why a wicked person can be, innocent in these kind of wicked laws, right? But they be like, I'm in violation of your law. I sinned against thee, the only. All right. I broke your law and your law only. So that's where you get some of the thought process with it. Okay. So let's go back to Leviticus 6. Okay. So if a soul sin and committed trespass against Lord and lie unto his neighbor in that which was delivered him to keep. All right. So you what? Bearing false witness, or in fellowship, or in a thing taken away by violence, or have deceived thy neighbor. All right. So deceiving somebody, misleading your neighbor, that is a sin. Okay. Or I found that which was lost. So you got the thing where you hear, finders keepers, losers weepers. No. That might be America, but that ain't how we work. All right. You find something that's lost, and then you what? You lie concerning it, right? Oh man, I dropped $50 out of my wallet, right? You picked it up. You know it ain't yours. You know that how that's probably it. But I ain't gonna say nothing. Ooh, you in violation. And swear falsely, right? I didn't do nothing. I didn't pick it. I ain't see it. Yeah, I ain't see it. Swearing falsely. And in any of all these that a man doeth, sinning therein. All right. You are in sin when you do that. All right, beloved. So once again, these things are going into more detail, but of course, right? When you understand even the Ten Commandments, you'll see this is just getting deep. The Ten Commandments is covering this as well, right? But it's getting more detail of it. Okay. But we know that we shouldn't lie, right? We're not allowed to bear false witness, so it's still getting there. This is just details of how you can bear false witness as well, all right, as well as other things. All right, anybody else got anything to add from 1 to 3 before we move on? All right, let's keep going.
Then it shall be, because he have sinned and is guilty, that he shall restore that which he took violently away, or the thing which ye have deceitfully gotten, or that which was delivered him to keep, or the lost thing which ye found, or all that about which he have sworn falsely, he shall restore it in the principal, and shall add the fifth part more thereto, and give it unto him to whom it appertaineth in the day of his trespass offering.
All right. So what is it dealing with here? How you will rectify the situation. Okay. You do things wrong. That's I'm sorry. But no. Why is he making you rectify the situation like this? Why is he making you do this? Like I said, our God is very practical, very wise, all right? And specifically, really, he knows us. So this is why he's spelling some of this stuff out, because he knows us. So let me just make it plain for some. So let's say you lied about having something of your neighbors or whatever, all right? So verse 4, then it shall be because he have sinned, all right, and is guilty, right? You did something wrong, that he shall restore that which he took violently away. So let's say I'll put in money just to make it, cleaner for us. So let's say I took $100 from Brother Kai, right? So that he shall restore that which he took violently away, or that which he have deceitfully gotten. So whether you took it violently, like you robbed somebody, right? Took from, or you did it sneakily, all right? Both thievery, all right? Both a thief. Or that which was delivered him to keep, or the lost thing which he found. Okay, so any of those cases, basically dealing with something that ain't yours, that's your brothers or sisters, or all that about which he have sworn falsely. All right, so however you got it, just still on details. Listen to this. He shall even restore it in the principal. What does that mean? What is this dealing with? So I stole $100 from Kai. Said he shall even restore it to the principal and shall add the fifth part more thereto. So what would I do? Took $100 from Kai. I ain't gonna say I bullied him, so I'm gonna say I did it deceitfully. He had $100 sitting on the table. Was at the house. Took the $100. What is the law telling that we had to do according to this?
You had to give it back to him, plus 20% more.
All right, here you go. So you got to restore the principal. All right, because you know what people will do. No, I'll get to that later. So you're gonna restore the principal $100, right? If I stole 100, I give the $100, and I'm gonna add a fifth part too. So now I gotta add what? 20%. All right. So I have to give him 120 back. Okay. Why do you think the Most High have put this like that? Why didn't he just say the 100? Why did he put the fifth part? Why do you think he did this? What is he trying to show us? What is he teaching us? And there's multiple ways you can, break it down. But what are y'all thoughts on why is he doing this? There's no wrong answer. I mean, well, I guess it could possibly be wrong answer, but it ain't no one answer I'm thinking about in my head. Just anything. All right. So one of the things is, beloved, first of all, you gonna give it back, right? Because people do, they'll just start doing you wrong, just saying, "Yep, I'm sorry." Right? Yeah, I stole from Kai, I'm sorry. But Kai's still out of $100, and I got $100. I'm gonna just keep doing that, right? A wicked person's gonna keep doing that. Okay. So no, you got to restore it, right? And this is part of when you transgress, right? You should restore what you did, right? This was the principle of that eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, that kind of stuff, a just balance, right? So got it from that person, give it back. All right. Now, what he did also is what? Restore, you have to give a fifth on top of that. Okay. Now I can't spell out exactly why the fifth and all that kind of stuff, right? But one thing we could look at is he's adding that on there, and that's teaches also, that's gonna keep you mindful. Listen, I take this much, I'm gonna be losing 120. Because really the spirit, if you should be stealing, right? But if you're taking for a certain need, let's say you just didn't have no money, no nothing, you are dead broke, and I got it. I just need something. I need to take something so I can eat for that day, right? Let's say somebody came, they took the $20 they had to eat for that day. They were desperate, right? They needed that, right, to survive, right? Even though they needed it, that extra 10 ain't gonna be nothing because I needed it right there. But somebody that was just, just taking it and stealing it, it's like, listen, you're gonna steal 20 so you can pay, no, you're gonna steal 100 so you can pay 120 back. That's not smart, right? But this is where it can be a preventative measure as well. Okay, you got to think in your head. This happened. I'm guilty. I'm gonna give a fifth part on top of this. Okay, so the Most High also got these laws to be a deterrence. Okay, so he put that on there so dang, I take that. I need 20% on top of this, right? Do you really want to weigh that out? Okay, it's not worth it. And also it should be extra. This is me speaking, beloved. It will probably show also that you understand, first of all, the weight of what you did of taking away, but also it's more when you trying to rectify the situation. Okay. Right. Yeah, you took 100, I'll put 100 in that, which is cool. I get that, right? But also that extra, you should go that extra mile because what? You did an offense to your brother or sister. Right. And this is something, beloved, when we do something wrong, when you know you're at fault, you should give that extra 20%. I'm not saying financially, you should go a little extra that mile, right? For that forgiveness. Well, I just asked them to forgive me and they want to forgive me. So they wrong it. Nah, you should go that extra mile because you offended. Okay. You chose lie. You thought that process out. Right. So you get the principle and then they add the interest on there. Okay. So you'll see this. This was not just towards tithes. I know some people used to put on, it is something addressing tithes and everything, but you'll see that's a general rule. You throw that 20% when you did that, when you stole or deceived or did something like that. Okay. So that'll make you think, think carefully. All right. You that have sticky fingers or anything like that, when you get less extra 20%. All right. But you shouldn't be doing it. First of all, you shouldn't be doing that regardless. All right. But that was the law. If you did deal in a manner like that, you would add the extra 20%. That was okay. Add the fifth part more too, and give it unto him to whom it appertaineth, right? You go to that individual, right? That you did wrong, you trespass, go to them. Don't, I'm gonna give it to Floyd to give the cop. No, you, Michael, you go. You took it from God. You go and rectify the situation. See, it's to kill all that kind of stuff, right? You was man enough to go and take it from, but now you don't want to be man enough to go and rectify the situation. Okay, so that thing which he, fifth part away, and give it unto him to whom it appertaineth in the day of his trespass offering. Okay, so before, and does this sound a little bit familiar? Let me see if I can grab it.
Oh,
That just sounds somewhat familiar.
sure.
My people that don't think they need the Old Testament. All right, let's find it. I gotta look for it. Y'all know it. Yeah, hear it all the time. Okay. So what were we doing with the sacrifices? Where would you burn it on, beloved? Where would you burn the sacrifices at? This is not your question. All right, starts with an A. What do we burn our sacrifices on? According to what we were just talking about.
Sure.
Sister Danielle put it in the chat.
Oh, why did my chat notification go off? Let me see. Let me see. Hold on, I'm trying to drag it up. Up the altar, yes. All right. So keep that in mind. Bring it to the altar. Now let's go to Matthew chapter 5. Is that right? That's the one, Kai? It's 5, right?
So yeah, I think I got it written down.
It should be like 20 something, probably. Memory serves me correct, like 23, 24. Ooh, all right.
Yep.
All right. So keep in mind what we just read.
Yep.
All right. So you did something wrong, because I'm gonna get the context. You did something wrong to your brother or sister, right? And then you go, you sworn for whatever it is, right? You restore the principle, and you should add the 5th part there too, and give it unto whom it pertaineth, right? You rectify that situation. Then what? In the day of his trespass offering. Okay. So you're going to apologize, do what you got to do, then offer in the day of you offering your trespass offering. All right. Don't try to skip the forgiveness part, getting right with your brother and just go right to the offering, right? You have to go to your brother or sister, right? Now, let's see if Christ will do the same thing. Okay. Let's go to let's start at verse 22. God, I think we should go there.
But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. Whoso shall say to his brother, Rakah, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire.
All right, so angry at your brother without a cause, that's already off. You're already off, or you just hating your brother without a cause. All right, you can't hate him with the cause, but that'll be a deeper conversation. All right, so you're angry with your brother, right? He's saying you are in danger. All right, this is the Messiah speaking. You in danger. Read verse 23.
Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy brother have aught against thee.
So you want to bring your gift to the altar, right? He said, before you do that, think about now something came to your mind that your brother, not you, your brother has something against you. All right. Your brother feels some way against you. All right. What do we think that is? That's going to be the spirit, beloved. Satan ain't going to try to make you fix no issue with your brother or sister. So if you ever guess, well, I wonder if it's the spirit of God or Satan, because we play the game. If it's telling you to do something that's right, beloved, well, let's lean to think that's the spirit of God. Okay. So, and there remembers thou that our brother have aught against thee. All right. You're like, oh man, I'm about to bring this gift to the altar. Oh man, Brother Kai might have a problem with me. Verse 24.
Leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift.
It says, leave your gift. He said what? He didn't say offer. He said, leave it. Go and what? Reconcile with thy brother. Then come and offer the gift. Okay? It's more important to rectify the situation, beloved, before you offer anything to the Most High. Some people don't want to rectify the situation with their brother and sister, but they want to be under the illusion that the Most High is pleased with their offering. It's the case, beloved. Okay? Because if it's a true gift of the Most High, we have to. What do these offerings have to be? Without blemish, right? If you feel your brother and sister got an art with you, or you feel some type of way about them, that's a blemish. All right, I'm dealing a little spiritual. I'm mixing spiritual with this, beloved. Okay, get that right first. All right, before you come and offer the gift. If you need that in a a somewhat a parable, right? Let's say you the children, and it's two brothers, right? Two brothers, and they're coming, to give gifts to their father. All right, they both got a gift. Okay, they both are at odds with one another. Okay, let's say the one don't have a problem, but the other one does. Okay, they come in. Do you think the father, right? Because the father should be loving the children, right? Do you think the father rather them get their situation, them being on good terms, or do you think he said, you know what, just give me the gifts, even though y'all not on good terms, and whether y'all get on good terms or not, no problem. What do you think a good father will want? Y'all tell me, what do you think a good father will want? Would he want the brothers to become on good terms, or he just focusing on the gift that he's going to receive? Now, let's say it's two big gifts, it's two nice gifts, beloved. Sons put together like, man, I want to get, because I love my father. I don't got nothing wrong with my father. I love my father. I'm giving this best gift. They both got two great gifts for their father. As a father, or not even to be a father, even a mother, would you rather your children be on one accord with one another, or would you rather have your gift? What's y'all thoughts? I'm throwing that to the class. What do you think?
One accord.
One accord. All right, that's one mother. Anybody got it different? Anybody got to say, you know what? I want my gifts. I don't care if they're at odds or not, right? And if you think that way, you probably got to go, repent a little bit. There might be some, there might be some blemish in your spirit. Okay, the relationship of the children is more important. Okay, rectify that situation, then come. Okay, and these are the things that simplistic things, but these are things that Christ was trying to bring out to us. We were so wicked and hating our brothers and sisters. A lot of his teaching just like you have to, you need to learn to love each other. Okay. This is why he's saying it's a new thing. It's about how you love, because we were not loving each other. He said, how you talk about professing God who you never seen, but you hating your brother you see every day. This is what he's talking about. Oh, I love God. Look at all these offerings and stuff I'm bringing to him. You can see how much I love him. But I'm hating my brother who I'm looking at every day. Because what? I can't forgive him or her. I can't rectify the situation between him and her. And we think that what? Our offerings were good, accepted, sweet-smelling saviors. And we having this tension. We having this problem. When I see the sister come to, there she is. She thinks she all that. She thinks she cute. Right? His sister that here, I'm like, what is wrong with you? They don't know somebody. Oh, they think they cute. Right? People just get mad. And you what? You in the wrong spirit. And you think, look at the mindset. You think God's about to accept your offering. You think that's going to be sweet smelling in his nostrils. But we have played the game so long that we thought God got to accept my offering. And that's what we think. We don't want to say it a lot, but that's what we think. Oh, he won't accept my offering because I love him that much. Together, so I can. And the other person is off. Okay? So once again, beloved, understand the depthness of it. So Christ kind of brought it out deeper, he kind of made plain other sense. But this kind of teaching was what? In the law. The schoolmaster was teaching the same kind of principle. Okay? All right, let's go back. So this is with anything, beloved. We come together. I know we don't, certain times we come, but we ever come together, beloved. It is better to rectify a situation with your brother or sister. I'm telling you, the praise will be better, right? I've been around it. I've seen it. where people having a weight. They can't praise God in sincerity and truth because what? Somebody they dislike, right? Because what? That takes your attention. I want you to understand, God says he's a jealous God. And we just think, oh, he's jealous that he don't want another God, right? Which is true, right? To be trying to serve any other God. However, our worship need to be 100% dedicated and focused on him. How can it be when I got this hatred? I got this dislike in my heart for another brother, sister. You think he's pleased with that? No, that's why he's saying, I want you to get that right. So y'all can both praise me in the, the beauty of the spirit and the pureness of the spirit. I want y'all both to be righteous doing it. All right. So that is greater, beloved. Okay. You don't care about all this. Oh, I gave this to the church. I gave that. That can be all good, but it doesn't matter if your heart's not right. Okay. The blessing is in you being righteous, a righteous servant, not in what you're literally giving. All right. Because a lot of that is tainted because we are not truly trying to do what thus saith the Lord. All right. Let's go back. So add a fifth part there too, and give it to him who appertaineth in the day of his trespass offering. Okay, so get that right. Then you bring that trespass offering because that will show true repentance. All right. You know how many people I've seen thinking they was really crying. They'll cry out at the altar. They'll be crying at the altar, Lord, blah, 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 right? But they will not forgive their brothers and sisters. Okay. So as much as they crying out for this trespass or be forgiven from God, it's not going to work because you got to do what the Lord told you to do. Okay, in every capacity. We want to skip step 2 and 3 and go right to step, 4, 5, and 6 and thinking it's gonna work out great. No, you have to do it how he told you to do it. Okay. Other than that, what are we doing? We're deceiving ourselves. In a lot of churches, there's a lot of deception. Okay, not just, well, it will go with teaching and doctrine because a lot of people dance around it. Sometimes the leaders that's having beef, you know what I mean, with other people, right? So instead of saying the pureness of what the scripture is saying, we want to what? Justify it. Well, you don't have to like this person. You don't have to like that brother, sister. Just pray for them, right? Yeah, I'm gonna pray for you, but I want to rectify the situation. Now, when you don't take heed, well, Mike, I'm just going to do it. Okay, now I can pray for you. But I at least, made the attempt to rectify the situation. Okay, so everything got its order. Most High said it perfectly, right? But we just have to do it how he instructed it. All right, Brother Kai, let's keep going. That's verse
6.
Verse 6. All right. 6, 7.
And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Yahweh, a ram without blemish out of the flock, without estimation, for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahweh, and it shall be forgiven him for anything of all that he have done in trespassing therein.
All right. So you bring the trespass offering. We got a ram without blemish, right? This is why the offering had to be without blemish. That's why you have to rectify the situation. You can bring the ram without blemish, but if you ain't go to your brother, sister to do that part with the fifth and the principle, nah, there's a blemish in that offering. Okay. And this sometimes our forefathers and foremothers didn't understand that. They thought because I brought the ram without blemish that I'm without blemish, right? You have to do the first step as well. All right. So the blemish of the flock with our estimation for a trespass offering unto the priest. All right. And the priest shall make an atonement. Okay. The priest is going to atone it. That was his job. That's the minister's job. Okay. To help the people atone. Okay. Even today, we have that kind of authority. Okay. Now listen, before we get all crazy. Okay. This is what Christ was dealing with as well. He's saying, what's harder, to heal a man or say that our sins be forgiven? And they lost their lid, right? No man can do that. No man can forgive sin. You have to understand what the context he's dealing with. First of all, he has that definitely kind of authority, but also the priests, when they're doing the realm, the administration that the Most High put on them, right? Their office offers that. Okay. It didn't say no maybe. If they do this, it says bring it to the priest, and the priest will make an atonement. And listen, and it shall be forgiven him. What do we think that is, beloved? You sinned, go to the priest, you did that, and now what? The Most High said, I'm going to forgive. And all that have been done in the trespass therein. Okay? So it's not individual. Don't put it as the individual or the teacher. It's how God instructed and how he set it up. Okay? So it ain't just don't get it mixed up with sometimes some of these churches, the Catholic churches and stuff like that. You just say stuff, oh, well, it's just gonna be forgiven. No, it ain't. I'm not talking about that. Okay. But when he has it, he has certain instructions. If you do it how it's told to be done, you're automatically forgiven. I don't care what people think or it, it's done. It's like you never did it in God's eyes. Okay. All right. Anybody got anything to add to 6 and 7? I want to make these points because I want us to understand, because a lot of times people make it very hard, right? Because you going under the standards of man and how they forgive all that stuff, and you're going to be all jacked up doing that. But with God, it's very to the point. If you truly mean well, it's very simple and easy. But if your heart is not right, it's going to be very hard for you to do. You'd be like, why is that? Because it sounds easy, right? I messed up. I go to that person, get it cleared up. It's very easy. It's when our heart gets wicked, it starts to become complicated, right? I got my two, but when you got two young kids, maybe they threw a toy, hit the other kid. The kid maybe start crying, right? The kid got offended, they got hit. We'll tell the kid that threw it, what we tell them, apologize. Well, I didn't do it on purpose. It don't matter if you do it on purpose. You hit that person. They're hurt. Just apologize. A small thing. And what happens? I'm sorry. And usually kids, this is the one thing that's beautiful about kids. This is why we got to be like kids. What they usually be like, it's okay. Right? But it's only when we get older and we wiser that we get what? More wicked. It's the adults that don't want to forget. We will do everything to dance around forgiving them. Or why we shouldn't have to forgive them. How it's technically not my fault. Maybe they should take a little blame up. We do all that. That's what's making it hard. But how God got it set up, it is very simple and easy. Okay? So I want us to understand we got to break off of the doctrines of this world. Because Satan has went and put all this stuff in there to pollute it, and I ain't gonna even put all on Satan. Some of us, we just want to do, our heart's not right, and we just going around it. But beloved, the weight will be taken off. It's a different weight when you do it correctly. It's different when you praise them, when you don't have, your mind is pure. It's not that you didn't do anything wrong. It's that you truly repented. It's a different praise. It's a different power. Even your prayers, you can feel it. When you're doing it, when you're in the right spirit, you can feel his presence. But if you hold on things, beloved, you can't receive everything, right? He said a closed fist, right? It ain't giving, it ain't receiving. But when we're not doing things right, beloved, our fist is closed and we can't receive fully what God's given us. Okay? So release it. All right? Release it. Let it go. All right. Where we at, Brother Kai?
Verse 8.
Verse 8. Okay. And nobody had none for 6 and 7? And please check the chat just in case it ever goes off. And thank y'all for letting me know early. It didn't notify me. That's weird. Okay. All right. Let's keep going.
Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, command Aaron and his son, saying, this is the law of the burnt offering. It is the burnt offering because of the burning upon the altar all night until the morning. And the fire of the altar shall be burning in it. And the priest shall put on his linen garment, and his linen breeches shall he put upon his flesh, and take up the ashes which the fire hath consumed with the burnt offering on the altar, and he shall put them beside the altar.
Give me one more. You give me one more.
And he shall put off his garments and put on other garments and carry forth the ashes without the camp unto a clean place.
All right. So just reviewing, it's going to go into like almost every sacrifice that we dealt with, right? The first one starting with the burnt offering. So we just give you, how the burnt offering is, how it's going to be basically running, right? That thing is going to be available, all right? And once again, you can correlate that to, the Most High is showing that it's always going to be, he's always going to be available for, the forgiveness of his people and things of that nature, right? So you can, correlate it to that. And it's probably a bunch of things that the spirit could probably reveal with that as well. The priest, talking about the linen garments and all that kind of stuff, how they'll switch it. Once again, it's still cleanliness going on. I know it's a lot of blood and stuff here and there, and picking up ashes, but there's still some cleanness that has to go on. And I think we already talked about that before. We're talking about without the camp, right? You have your place where you'll have these things, and there were certain spots out the camp, all right, and that's where you're gonna dump the ashes and everything, because a lot of stuff going on. You got blood, you got ash, you got stuff happening, all messy stuff. So it's just giving a little order of how to do things as well. Okay, and this is where you get the linen breeches. I think that's basically like the pants. This is where you'll hear some brothers talk about the we see men wearing pants in the scriptures. I think they'll go to this one. I want to say I think the breeches is like pants, like, all right. And of course the linen, I believe the linen is lighter or thinner material. Ladies, brothers, if anybody had that experience, might be able to tell me. But I think in another passage, I don't know if it's Ezekiel, but I think one is almost like telling like so that, I think like almost like so they don't be sweating and all that kind of stuff. So um don't quote me on that though. I think it is a passage that deals directly with that. I want to say Ezekiel, but I could be wrong. All right. So they did put another garment to do that. And yep, that's first look. Okay. Anybody got anything to add to those three verses? All right. Let's keep going. Let me see if I can find that. Oh, it is Ezekiel. I'm just showing just for in case. I don't have the memory to be calling these out. I read certain things, beloved, but I can't be calling it. But I did get the right book, it seems. This is Ezekiel 40. This is Ezekiel 44. And I'm just gonna read it real quick. I'm sorry, verse 16. They shall enter into my sanctuary, and they shall come near to my table to minister unto me, and they shall keep my charge. And it shall come to pass when they shall enter into the gates of the inner court that they shall be clothed with linen garments, and no wool shall come upon them while they minister in the gates of the inner court and within. All right, so the garment was very important, the wool. They shall have linen bonnets upon their heads, and they shall have linen breeches upon their loins. They shall not gird themselves with anything that causes sweat. Okay. So that's what I was saying. I think the linen is lighter and everything. He's saying the wool, wool, you definitely can be sweating. So Most High is somewhat, not somewhat. He's thoughtful and being considered, having them priests losing, 50 pounds a day doing all that work with, heavy, wool things. He talked about the garment, all right? Because he's a practical God. All right, back to Leviticus. Sister Tima, what you got?
I'm subject, but you remember you was asking about the priest to start with a Z. It was right there in 15, Zodok, that keeps the sanctuary. It was a while ago, but yeah, that was it in 15.
I must say, what you talking
It was
about?
this is off subject, but I remember you was looking for the priest that keep the sanctuary, and we couldn't think of it. And you was like, it start with a Z, but it was right there in 15, Zodok. Yeah,
Praise to all praises, yeah.
but all praises, kind.
Mine is half bad and half good. It can tell you something, you just gotta find it. But no, all praises. Thank you, sis. All right. All right. Anybody else got anything before we go to the next part? One. All right, Brother Kai. I'll lose
Verse
my
12.
12. All right, brother.
And the fire upon the altar shall be burning in it. It shall not be put out. And the priest shall burn wood on it every morning, and lay the burnt offering in order upon it. And he shall burn thereon the fat of the peace offerings. The fire shall never, the fire shall be, the fire shall ever be burning upon the altar. It shall never go out.
All right. So now give reference to the peace offering that we went over and maybe like 2 chapters ago. Okay. Like I said, he's just reviewing some of these things with the altar. All right. He talked about the burning the fat and everything, not eating the fat from that. Okay. Let's keep going. Unless somebody had anything. If you got something, just unmute or whatever. All right. Let's keep going, Brother Kai.
And this is the law of the meat offering. The sons of Aaron shall offer it before Yahweh, before the altar. And he shall take of it his handful of the flour of the meat offering, and of the oil thereof, and all the frankincense which is upon the meat offering, and shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor, even the memorial of it unto Yahweh.
I think that's the grain offering in verse 15. So remember, I told you it says meat, but better translation probably should have been grain. But he's dealing with the grain offering. All right. Once again, he's just going with some of the stuff we already covered. All right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. And brother, if you need me to read, just let me know. Brother Kai ain't feeling under the weather, so
No, I'm good.
all right.
I'm good. And the remainder thereof shall Aaron and his sons eat. With unleavened bread shall it be eaten in the holy place. In the court of the tabernacle of the congregation they shall eat it. And it shall not be baken with leaven. I have given it unto them for their portion of my offerings made by fire. It is most holy, as is the sin offering, and as the trespass offering.
Okay. Again, still going into detail. What was something else we couldn't burn on that grain offering? If anybody remember? I think it was grain offering that they gave the detail with. Let me make sure. Yep. So the grain offering, you can't have it with leaven. There was something else that can't be burnt with it.
Honey.
There we go. Yes, honey. All right. So you were not allowed to put no honey on there. Okay. Now I told y'all I don't know exactly. I heard different takes on it, different, people give their takes, but I don't know the exact reason why he prevented the honey. But some of the things I did hear, they were good points. All right, just can't just I didn't read anything particularly that specified why it couldn't be that. All right, so no honey. Good job, sis. What verse are we at? It might be 17. I'm not sure. Or what verse we just read, beloved? I'm sorry. I don't know what verse we just went over.
15?
Was it 15? All right. Whichever one you want to pick up.
Yeah, I think it was 17. I think.
Okay.
Let me read 16 here. And the remainder thereof shall be Aaron and his sons eat. With unleavened bread shall it be eaten in the holy place. In the court of the tabernacle of the congregation they shall eat it. It shall not be baken with leaven. I have given it unto them for their portion of my offerings made by fire. It is most holy, as is the sin offering, and as the trespass offering. All the males among the children of Aaron shall eat of it. It shall be a statute forever in your generations concerning the offerings of Yahweh made by fire. Everyone that toucheth them shall be holy.
So once again, dealing with them, that is their inheritance, beloved. They can eat of the altar. So Paul make reference to this Testament. Okay. Aaron's sons, that law is locked with them with the altar. All right. You got the temple and the altar. What's up? They get the dibs of it. All right. That's their inheritance. That's their blessing because of their forefathers and how the Most High bestowed upon them. Okay. So that's why he's saying, pertains to them, they got that statute forever. Okay. Let's keep going. Verse 19.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, This is the offering of Aaron and of his sons, which they shall offer unto Yahweh in the day when he is anointed, the 10th part of an ephod of fine flour for a meat offering, perpetual, half of it in the morning, and half thereof at night. In a pan it shall be made with oil, and when it is baking, thou shalt bring it in, and the baking pieces of the meat offering shalt thou offer for a sweet savor unto Yahweh.
So once again, same thing. Stuff we kind of went over it, right? The 10th part, meat offering, do it perpetually. And of course, we got what? Half of it in the morning, half thereof at night. Okay. So you can look at it, right? When you look, we'll go through it like in a few chapters, you'll see it. They'll say, he'll teach them sometime how to do the morning sacrifice. And he said, all right, replicate that for the evening sacrifice. Okay. So we will have sacrifice in the morning and then the evening. Okay. My thing is, I think it's still the whole thing of, from the rising of the sun to go down to the same, that kind of stuff. So they're offering literally. Okay. And if you want to put it in a reference term, remember we talked about Elijah, right? Remember he was challenging the other, the pagans with their God, that whole, you call upon your God and I'll call upon mine to rain the fire down. Remember they was, cutting themselves and everything to like in the noonday and the midday. And then it says they were getting close to the what? Evening sacrifice because they were still doing this. Okay. Still new laws. All right. Let's keep going.
And the priest of his sons that is anointed in his steed shall offer it. It is a statute forever unto Yahweh. It shall be wholly burnt. For every meat offering for the priest shall be wholly burnt. It shall not be eaten.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and to his sons, saying, This is the law of the sin offering. In the place where the burnt offering is killed, shall the sin offering be killed before Yahweh. It is most holy.
So, that's a part I wanted to grab. In the place where the burnt offering is killed, shall the sin offering be killed before Yahweh is most holy. So remember, the place matters. All right. When you're dealing with these, according to the law, when you're dealing with this stuff, the place and the people who's administering matters according to the law. Now, if you were just doing some, I want to just offer something to God and everything in place, I don't read anything where that's a particular issue, right? You'll have some of our forefathers maybe did that. However, when you're dealing with, clearing up and everything according to the law, you will need the Levites, you will need the temple to spot. Okay. So that was very important when you're dealing with these sacrifices. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. You can actually finish it up.
Verse 26. The priest that offer it for a sin shall eat it. In the holy place shall it be eaten, in the court of the tabernacle of the congregation. Whatsoever shall touch the flesh thereof shall be holy. And when there is sprinkle of the blood thereof upon any garment, thou shalt wash that whereon it was sprinkled in the holy place. But the earthen vessel wherein it is sodden shall be broken. And if it be sodden in a brazen pot, it shall be both scoured and rinsed in water. All the males among the priests shall eat thereof. It is most holy. And no sin offering whereof any of the blood is brought into the tabernacle of the congregation to reconcile with all in the holy place shall be eaten. it shall be burnt in the fire.
All right, beloved. This is the one part when you look at, first of all, when there's blood, right? Clean it off. When there's blood everywhere. All right. So Most High still dealing with cleanliness. Okay. But at verse 28, the earthen vessel wherein is sodden shall be broken. Okay. For it is sodden in a brazen pot, it shall be both skewered and rinsed in water. So this dealing with dealing with kind of cleanliness. You could get this in other passages as well. I think when we get further in Leviticus, it might be even when we're dealing with the dietary law. I think that's one, and it might be another spot as well. So that should be Leviticus 11, kind of at the end of the chapter, I want to say. So when you're dealing with like the blood or certain things, right? The earthen vessels, right? It says with this one where it says where it is sodden, right? It says like boiling or cooking in, it shall be broken. All right. So with the earthen vessel, when this gives is kind of he said just break that one. All right. If it's sodden in a brazen pot, it shall be skewered and rinsed in water. All right. What is he showing? What separation is he showing between these two vessels, the brazen pot and the earthen vessel? Okay. I'm not going spiritually thing here. I'm just talking naturally. All right. So he's saying with one, break it, the other, you can kind of scourge it, cleanse it, rinse it out. So you think about the earthen vessel, that's something like I think like pottery thing, wood or whatever. So when you have that, I think it's because it can get in there, it can get in the crevices of it where you can't kind of like clean it out, right? And then you got a brazen pot. I don't know, it's maybe older generation. I don't even know if our generation. Some of the older generations might have heard of it. They will cure. I think it's like cure, like they'll cure it, right? They get a new. They'll get like a pot, and sometimes they will do it. They will cure it. Sometimes they'll do it with. I'm not a cook, y'all. So y'all, those that know, y'all help me out. I want to say they put a certain oil in it. They'll probably put oil in there, right? And they'll kind of have it cured. And I think it kind of gets into the pot, and then when you cook, it kind of comes out. So you'll have certain things with certain vessels, where those things do matter, right? This is why sometimes there's some people that like kind of get you start doing the dietary law and things of that nature, and then some people you sometimes use a pot or something from some people, and sometimes you'd be like, man, that kind of bothered me, like it was pork or something. And you're like, but they cooked it wasn't pork, right? Sometimes once it can get into something where when you cook it, it kind of bring those juices out of it, right? And that's what can do it. All right, so that's just a little fun fact. So when you look at it, the one you can kind of scourge, I guess, kind of, get it out where it purifies it again. The other one, I think, is just, he's saying, nah, that thing's just ruined. Okay. So that's a little fun fact with some of our cooking. I don't know which ones it is, which pots, but there's certain pots. But, one, you kind of do this, you do it in there so it gets in there and it kind of helps with the cooking and everything. This is what I heard from, my kind of forefather and forefathers. Okay. So if you ever had anybody ever mention it like that, this is where the idea is not far-fetched. It's in there. It does make a difference. One of those preach shall eat thereof. Okay, that's common. Okay, that's pretty much it on my end. All right. Anybody got anything they wanted to add to this? We're just going to do this chapter. We're not going to move forward. Very good. Everybody good? All right. If we all good, that is Leviticus chapter 6. All right. That's Leviticus chapter 6. And Lord's willing, next Friday, we will be doing Leviticus chapter 7. Okay. Those online, we'll say shalom to you.